In this lecture, we will take one more problem, and the statement of the problem is sketch the root locus for the system having g of s h of s is equal to k divided by s into bracket s square plus 2s plus 2. Now, what is the first step is we have to find how many number of poles are there, how many number of zeros are there, and what is n. So when you see the equation of g of s, h of s, number of poles is equal to 3. Z number of zeros is equal to zeros. And n will be equal to p, which is equal to 3. So this is the diagram showing the location of poles and zeros. So one pole is at origin due to s, and s square plus 2s plus 2 represents a complex conjugate pole with -1 plus j and -1 minus j. So -1 plus j and -1 minus j is the complex conjugate pole pair. Then we have to see how many branches are approaching to infinity. So p minus z we have to determine. P minus z is equal to 3. Due to that, 3 branches are approaching to infinity, starting points open loop poles as there are no zeros. So what are the pole locations? S is equal to 0, s is equal to -1 plus j, and s is equal to -1 minus j. The second step is pole 0 plot and section of real axis. So this is a pole 0 plot, one pole at origin and another complex conjugate pole pair. Now we'll see which section of real axis is part of root locus and which section of real axis is not part of root locus. When you see to the right side of positive real part, as there are no zeros and poles and hence it is even, that is why this section of real axis, that is positive part of real axis, is no root locus NRL. Now we'll take to the left of the real axis from origin. When you see the left of real axis, there is only one pole at origin, so it is odd. Due to that, the left section of real axis is the part of root locus. Here we are not going to consider the complex conjugate pole as said by the rule. Then you can see there is one branch which is approaching to minus infinity and the starting from pole at s is equal to 0. So branch is starting from s is equal to 0 and terminating at minus infinity. No breakaway point exists according to general prediction because left part of real axis is RL, but there are no adjacent poles that are having a section of RL. Due to that, no breakaway point exists according to general. Step 3 is angles of asymptotes. So as there are 3 branches approaching to infinity, due to that there will be 3 asymptotes required. So the formula for asymptote finding is theta is equal to 2q plus 1 into 180 degrees by p minus z. Q is equal to 0, 1, 2. So 3 branches means we have to take q is equal to 0, 1, 2. First we will substitute q equal to 0 and find theta 1. Theta 1 is with q equal to 0, which is 180 degrees by 3, 60 degrees. Theta 2 is equal to, with q is equal to 1, so it is 180 degrees as shown. Then we will find theta 3 with q is equal to 2. So it is determined here. Theta 3 is 2 into 2 plus 1 by into 180 degrees by 3, which is 300 degrees. So these are the angles of asymptotes. Next we have to find centroid. We have the formula for centroid as summation of real part of poles minus summation of real part of zeros by p minus z. So which is equal to summation of real part of poles. Real part of pole summation is 0, minus 1, minus 1. Minus of zeros, which is, as there are no zeros, so summation of real part of zeros is 0. So which is 0, minus 1, minus 1, minus 0 by 3, which is minus 2 by 3, which is minus 0.67. Then there is one branch approaching to infinity along theta 2. As theta 2 is 180 degrees, so there is one branch approaching to infinity along theta 2. While remaining two branches start from, the other two branches start from minus 1 plus j and minus 1 minus j will approach to infinity along theta 1 and theta 3 respectively. So that has been shown here. Centroid has been calculated as minus 0.67 and it has been located here minus 0.67 centroid. Then one branch is approaching with 60 degrees towards infinity theta 1 and one branch is approaching towards theta 3 with 300 degrees. So minus 1 plus j will be along theta 1 towards infinity, minus 1 minus j will be to reaching to infinity along theta 3. The next step is we have to find the breakaway point. So how to find breakaway point? 1 plus g of s h of s is equal to 0. So substitute g of s h of s what it is? 1 plus k divided by s into bracket s square plus 2s plus 2 is equal to 0. So which comes to be s cube plus 2s square plus 2s plus k is equal to 0. So k is minus s cube minus 2s square minus 2s. Now take dk by ds. dk by ds is equal to minus 3s square minus 4s minus 2 is equal to 0. So the equation becomes 3s square plus 4s plus 2 is equal to 0. So breakaway points are minus 4 plus or minus root of 16 minus 24 by 2 into 3, which is minus 0.67 plus or minus j 0.4714. So now as we have got breakaway point minus 0.67 plus or minus j 0.4714, substituting, now instead of substituting minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714 in the expression for k, we can check the validity of these points as breakaway points by using angle condition. How to find? The point which satisfies angle condition is on the root locus, and point on root locus satisfying dk by ds is equal to 0 is nothing but breakaway point. So let us test. S is equal to minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714. Angle of GS HF is equal to plus or minus 2q plus 1 into 180 degrees. Q should be taken 0, 1, 2. So g of s h of s will become k divided by s into bracket s plus 1 plus j in one bracket, another s plus 1 minus j at s is equal to minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714. So angle of g of s h of s is equal to angle of k plus j0 divided by angle of minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714 into angle of minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714 plus 1 plus j angle of minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714 plus 1 minus j. So this will be equal to angle of k plus j0 divided by angle of minus 0.67 plus j 0.4714, angle of 0.33 plus 1.47 into angle of 0.33 minus j 0.53, which will become equal to 0 degrees divided by angle of 144.87 into angle of 77.34 into angle of minus 58.09 as shown. So when you determine, the angle will be minus 164.11. Now we have to check whether this angle is a odd multiple of 180 degrees or not. This is not an odd multiple of 180. Hence point is not on the root locus. Hence there is no breakaway point existing for this system. Then next step is intersection with imaginary axis. How to find? We have to create a Routh's array and find k marginal and then proceed further. So the equation is s cube plus 2s square plus 2s plus k is equal to 0. So we'll see intersection with imaginary axis. Characteristic equation is s cube plus 2s square plus 2s plus k equal to 0. Routh's array is 1 to 2k, 4 minus k by 2, 0, s raised to 0 is k. K marginal is equal to plus 4 makes row of s raised to 1 is equal to 0. K marginal will be equal to plus 4 makes row of s raised to 1 is equal to 0. A of s is equal to, so auxiliary equation is that equation which row we are making 0, above that row whatever is the row, so it is s square row. 2s square plus k is equal to 0. So when you find k marginal, at k marginal we have determined plus 4. So at k marginal 2s square plus 4 will become equal to 0. Will become equal to 0. Then so at k marginal equal to 4, 2s square plus 4 equal to 0. So s square is equal to minus 2. So s will come equal to plus or minus j 1.414. Next step is we have to go for angle of departure as there are complex conjugate poles. Now as branch is departing at minus 1 plus j, let us calculate angle of departure. So this has been shown here. These are the complex conjugate pole. So when you take this one angle, phi p1. So phi p1 has been shown here. You can see this is phi p1, this is phi p2. So from the figure, using geometry, you can determine phi p1. Phi p1 will become equal to 135 degrees. How it is 135 degrees? See how much is angle phi p1? 90 plus 45, 135 degrees. Phi p2 is shown here, which is exactly 90 degrees. Then you find summation of phi of p, which is phi p1 plus phi p2. So 135 plus 90, which is 225 degrees. Summation of phi z is 0 as there are no zeros or complex conjugates. Then phi will be summation of phi p minus summation of phi z, which is 225 degrees. Then find phi d, which is 180 degrees minus phi, which will come 180 degrees minus 225, which is minus 45 degrees. At minus 1 minus j, phi d is 45 degrees. Next step is complete root locus. So you can see the complete root locus which has been shown here. You can see centroid at minus 0.7, then complex conjugate pole, complex, then you can see theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. Then phi d is plus 45 degrees at minus 1 minus j. Phi d is minus 45 degrees at minus 1 plus j. So from that you have to draw where it crosses the imaginary axis at j is equal to 1.414. So at 1.414 the root locus should pass from this complex conjugate pole. Similarly on negative imaginary axis at j is equal to minus j 1.414, that root locus should pass from complex conjugate minus 1 minus j through minus j 1.414. So that is the complete root locus which has been shown. Then that should be drawn parallel to theta 1 and theta 3 as I shown here. Okay. So this is, then what is the next step is we have to comment on stability. First we have found k marginal 4. So if k is greater than 0 and less than 4, you see the root locus. k greater than 0 less than 4, then you can see all roots are lying in left half of S plane, system is absolutely stable. At k is equal to plus 4, which is marginal value, dominant roots are on imaginary axis, system is marginally stable, oscillating with 1.414 radians per. For k greater than 4, dominant roots are in, so when marginal value crosses, roots will rise to the right half of S plane. So for k greater than 4, dominant roots are in right half of S plane. Hence system becomes unstable in nature. So we'll see